Hello, YouTube, I guess. I'm going to just put out this video because I personally am going through a hamstring tear injury and I'm a few days out from getting my surgery. So I found it really helpful to watch other people's videos and resources about this injury. There's a really great YouTuber named Kimberly Canich, I think, and she inspired me to share some of what I've been learning as I've gone through this process. This is Weetzie, by the way. But I'm not a YouTuber, so this video might not be great and you're allowed to skip. Essentially, today is December something, I don't know, 20. And I was actually injured on November 26th. So it's almost been 4 weeks since my initial injury. I was mountain biking. I'm an Oregonian, and I was on Mount Hood taking a trail that was too advanced for me. So I'll spare people the details, but I felt like a giant tore off my leg for a minute. I didn't hear a pop. I think there was just a lot going on, and pretty much knew instantly that I could not put weight on my left leg. And I thought, well, this is bad, and it's probably a tear or some kind of injury that is not going to be good. But I didn't think it was that serious. So I managed to get down the mountain by myself, load my heavy bike back onto my car, and I drove an hour home. On the way, I think I was definitely in shock. I called friends asking for them to look up information on hamstring tears. And once I got home, I kind of collapsed onto the couch in shock and was shaking and needed a lot of water. I was really dehydrated all of a sudden. And that day, it was kind of a blur. I think, unfortunately, I just sort of conceal pain very well, so my roommate didn't understand how much I was freaking out and injured. I know, girl. So he suggested we go to the urgent care room, or urgent care, and that was the right suggestion. Unfortunately, I was in shock, as I said, and I wasn't thinking clearly, so I was like, I called the nurse line for information, and she said, drop everything and get into an ambulance, call 911, which I was like, well, that's overkill. So I didn't do that, but in my mind, I was like, oh, we have to go to the emergency room. So number one tip, just go to urgent care. That was an expensive kind of waste of time. Like I could have just gone to urgent care and saved myself a lot of money. So that was a little bit too bad. Once I got to the hospital, honestly, it is an ER, and I wasn't checked. I didn't have to roll over, really do anything. The ER doc was kind, but he just poked my leg a couple times and said, yeah, you're probably have a partial tear. And he said, but really, I'm going to refer you to a orthopedic surgeon, which I was like, well, that's not good. He really didn't check, so I didn't know what to do. Unfortunately, it was Thanksgiving weekend, so it took 3 days to see an orthopedic surgeon here in Portland, Oregon. Once I got there, and I have to say, I was really only in pain, like real pain, that very first day of my injury. I kept being asked at the hospital about my pain level, and I would say, oh, it's a 6, it's an 8. At the most, it was probably an 8. And, they gave me crutches. They gave me an oxy prescription, which my friends in healthcare said, don't touch that shit. You don't need it. Take some Aleve at most. And so it wasn't until like 7 o'clock in the evening that I took anything. And I think I took ibuprofen, which is actually not the thing to take. You should take Aleve, naproxen sodium is its generic name. It's the best thing you can do because it keeps actually, I'm not going to say why. I don't know why. I'm not a doctor. But my pain was pretty manageable the first day. And what happened afterwards in the subsequent days while I was waiting for healthcare was that I was able to limp and use my crutches, not put any weight on that leg, but not really a lot of pain. And so I thought, well, I just strained it. It's going to be okay. I got to the orthopedic surgeon, and he asked me to lay on my stomach and raise up my, I'm getting so scratched from this kitty. Yeah, you're just needing me. I he asked me to put my leg, up. That's it. And I couldn't do that. So he immediately said, okay, we're done here. I'm going to order an MRI. Again, I was like, well, that's not a good sign. And because MRIs are reserved for athletes, I was told at the hospital if I were a professional athlete, I would have gotten an MRI immediately. But as just a 45-year-old woman, nope. So that had to be referred, and I had got to wait another, gosh, it ended up being another total of 10 days until I actually got the MRI. So I'll just skip all of that. I had to work from home, just there's no way I'd be able to move around my office. Living on crutches was not a lot of fun. I was really impatient to get to that MRI and just have it, I thought in my mind, proven that I didn't need surgery. Silly cat. But as it happened, the MRI came in, waited another couple of days, and again, it's like weeks are going by here. And on the upside, I was gaining mobility every single day. And I really was, in the meantime, being really conscientious about health and exercise in other ways, by which I mean I continue doing online upper body, weight workouts, right here, in fact. I'm always very attentive to my diet, but especially with this kind of injury, I wanted to make sure I was supporting my body. So I had already been taking some multivitamins for women. I added to that vitamin C, zinc, and yeah, that's pretty much it for those first couple of weeks. Vitamin C is very good for healing wounds. So I doubled down on that. Food-wise, I drank a lot of bone broth. I started adding collagen to all of my hot drinks. Just smoothies, that anything I could put in, flaxseed to get some omega-3s in me. That was pretty much my routine. And I think I feel like it helped in that I've honestly healed up pretty gosh darn well. Today, what is today? It's like 6 days short of a month. So, 3 weeks down the road. And honestly, if my muscles were attached to my bones, I could walk just fine. Yeah, so there it is. But that's not what happened. The MRI finally took another few days to get read, and then it was revealed that unfortunately the majority of my tendons snapped away from the bone that day. It's so gross to say that, but that's what happened. I have apparently one clinging on for dear life, so that's good. And I asked the doctor, the surgeon, should I stop walking? Being able to walk as soon as possible and not be crutch dependent is really, really important to me. I know that's a huge reason why your muscles atrophy, and I didn't want to deal with that. Even though I'm not a professional athlete, I am very athletic and I have a very active life. So, and just for what it's worth to anyone out there, the doctor was like, nah, you can't hurt it anymore. Probably not gonna, do what you did again ever, so you should be fine. So I have been walking around, getting that as some exercise to try to kind of keep the muscles working, and it really has been fine. As I was gonna say, as of today, I can walk. I can pretty well walk nicely. Hang on.